Hey everybody. Some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Sharon Holden, and I'm a realtor at Southern Properties Realty in Kershaw, South Carolina. And you know I do videos from time to time, some real estate, but the majority are my day-to-day life here on my homestead, and I enjoy doing those. But I've had this little talk that I've wanted to do to bring you guys some information about some things that are going on out in the real estate world that can be kind of scary, both for individuals and realtors alike. A couple of weeks ago, I had an incident where on a Saturday that I had planned nothing for the Saturday because I had a few things I wanted to get done here at the house, and just to prep for things that were upcoming with the animals. So I knew I had not scheduled anything, and anytime I do try to put it in my phone because I do have a lot going on, and I try to double check all of my appointments because I do have ADHD, and I know what my issues are, and most of them revolve around time and my inability to schedule enough time. I think I can get a lot more done in a day than I actually can. So, when you plan things and you put them on paper, it makes more sense. So I didn't have anything on my schedule, and that was on purpose. And I didn't, take any last minute calls to go and do other things. Well, my phone started ringing, and I answered it, and it was what sounded like a potential customer who was saying they had an appointment with me, and I knew I didn't have any. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, I don't have any appointments scheduled for today. Are you sure you're trying to get in touch with me and maybe not another agent? And they said, no, we're here at the property, and we're looking at your sign, and you're the person we've been contacting about this property. And so I was like, oh no, how could I do this? How could I mess up? I'm thinking in my head, when did this happen? What was going on? And so I just started asking some questions, and to see if it would, jog my memory. Well, none of it did. Come to find out, these people had been contacted by a so-called realtor. She was not using my name. She was not using my phone number, except for it was similar. A phone number was very similar to mine. It was one of those, have you ever heard of people say, oh, my account got hacked today, I can't get into my account on Facebook? And a lot of times what I have found in my research, these are people who hack Facebook accounts. They just try, passwords, and they've got I guess some type of data that they use to come up with different passwords, and so they will hack someone's page once they get in. And not only will they hack that account, they will hack other social media accounts, they will hack email accounts, just by having the information that they have, because a lot of people use the same password for all of their social media, all of their email accounts. So if you're doing that, you need to have a separate password, and it needs to be a strong password for every app that you use for social media, all of your emails. They do not need to have the same password. And I know that can be a hassle because, my mind, I would have to write it down somewhere or use some type of app to keep up with all of it, because I can barely keep up with one. But most of my information has different passwords, and even if it's just, similar but not exact. Anyway, this person who had hacked someone else's name, their account, was using it and pretending either to be, I don't think they were pretending to be a real estate agent, they were pretending to be a property manager. So what they were offering these people at this property that they showed up that I have listed, and this isn't just a singular thing. This is happening to a lot of real estate agents and these properties. So these scammers come in, they contact, they put up an ad on Facebook or somewhere, and people will call their number, and they will pretend that they have this home. They'll send them pictures that they stole from your listing, and it's not just off of Facebook. They can go on Zillow, they can go on Realtor.com, or any app that has pictures of current listings that are available. And this isn't just real estate agents listings. These are for sale by owner. These are for sale by LLCs. Anything that they can is searchable, they can steal those photos. So they will formulate a false ad, and they will promote it as a rental. There have even been some scammers who will target people in other states and actually go through the whole process of having them purchase a home that is unpurchasable. So they have a fake attorney, they have, all of these things, and they get these people's money, they get down payments, they get 2 months rent, they get deposits, and they get attorney's fees, they get realtor commission fees, property management commission fees up front through their whole process of getting these people. Well, long story short, what happened was these people showed up at the address that was, the false ad had listed, and they show up at the address and they've already paid their first 2 months rent, and they've already paid the deposit, and it can rack up to cost. And what they told these people was, you go ahead and go on to the property, we've got your deposit, and we'll bring an attorney who can sign the lease agreement, lease to own, or flat out, they'll tell them that you're going to get to sign your purchase contract. Well, they don't show up because they're not real. They're probably not even in this country. So I was so upset, and I advised them the best, I'm sorry, you've been scammed. Here's what I think you need to do. And the first thing I told them was, I think you need to call, the police, call and do an incident report and report this person. And because you can't file any charges or try to find out any information about someone without a police report. So they said they would, and I said, look, if I can help you in any way. Well, immediately, I love to research. So I go online and I look for this person by name. Sure enough, they have an account, but they only have that one. They only had one listing, and it wasn't even mine. It was a listing in another state. So evidently they had, several Facebook accounts that they were using for this, or they put that, once they scam someone, they take that one off and put up another one to scam someone else. It was very sad, and I lost sleep over it, because the next day I ended up sending them a screenshot of the person. I said, is this the person you thought you were dealing with? And they said yes. Well, of course that person does not exist, not in the form that they think. It's probably a real person's name, and it's probably their picture, but it wasn't their full account. Because when you look at what they've got listed, that's the only thing they have listed. You go to their profile page, there's nothing showing on their profile page. So it's just like when you get a friend request from somebody you're already friends with, and you go to the person sending a new friend request, and they have very few friends, and they have maybe one post, and they might have a couple of pictures that they stole from the real person. And It's just very sad. And this person said, you know what, I've learned my lesson. I won't ever do anything like this again. And I did go online and try to find them a place to rent. Well, right now there's not a whole lot available for rent. And, you know, these people were already out the money, which they understood they made the mistake and they were going to have to pay the cost, but it still hurt me. I'm a very empathetic person. And so it hurt me that someone had taken advantage of someone like this, and it should never have happened. It should not be allowed to happen. When you and I get a Facebook page, we have to verify ourselves. Do you remember having to do that? So that's why it's necessary for these people to also hack and steal access to your email accounts, because that's what Facebook uses to identify. Hang on a second. I'm doing a video to let people know. Anyway, so the reason, you know, I tell you that story so that you can understand that, you know, even if you know there's bad people out there, bad people know exactly how to trick you. And if you do not have your guard up all the time, you know, we can never say, I'll never be tricked. Because I know people who have been tricked. And it's, and then they're like, I knew better than that. But you get caught up in the moment, and you know what your goals are, and you know what your needs are. And here comes this person riding on a white horse in shiny armor, offering to help you. So I know there's a big stigma against using real estate agents or realtors, but if you choose not to use one, that's your decision. But do your homework on anybody. If someone's asking you for upfront money, and this applies across the board for any item, you know, I look for animals online sometimes, and you know, I can't verify who the people are. That start asking questions, and you realize you're probably not even talking to someone who is from this country after a while, just based on the grammar alone. Not to stereotype anyone, but understand that there are ways that you can get to the bottom of what you're about to do and make a wiser choice. Especially though with real estate agents, there is something that we can offer that gives security. And yes, do we make mistakes? Yes. Do we get paid a commission? Yes. But I will tell you, me personally, if I'm going to get paid for a job that I'm doing, I'm gonna work really hard. I'm gonna go as hard as I can to help my client. And I know many realtors who do the same thing. So you know, you get a stigma sometimes, I think, about certain people, other people's jobs, and you think, well, they got a gravy job. Y'all, I don't care what job you have. And if you do have a gravy job, please call me. Because, you know, if you got any openings, I don't know of anybody who has a job that they don't have to work really, really hard. And at the end of the day, they're tired. They're either physically tired, they're mentally tired, they're emotionally tired. But tired is tired. So, but then again, if you got a gravy job and you got an opening, call me. I'm just kidding. No. But let me get back on target. Here goes my ADHD. And one thing that I will say is there is security in using a realtor, because there are many times that we help people that we don't even get paid for. If you have a question about real estate and I can help you, that's a free consultation. You're not my client. I'm not representing you yet at all. But if it's a general question and you want to know which direction to go, you know, we can give you advice. But once you decide that you want to use us to help you find a home or help you sell a home, then we become, you know, in an agreement with you to represent you, and you're not just a customer, you become a client. And from that point on, then we will do our very best to help you with all the legal aspects and with all the groundwork, the research. Many hours go in to helping someone find a home or sell their home, and we're all trained the same way. If we have a license, we were trained basically the same way. Now, when you get to the heart of the matter and helping someone, that's where you see your individuality between agents. And, I'm not here to say that I'm better than anybody else, but for my clients, I'm going to do the very best that I can to represent them well, to help them to be informed in what they're doing, and make sure it's legal. Make sure that they are not going to be scammed, because there is a big market out there right now for scammers, because we all have desires, and it doesn't matter whether it's purchasing a home, selling a home, buying a car, just spending your money in general online for something that you've been researching and hoping for. And then from time to time we all get scammed, because we believe that people have good intentions, when all people do. And we live in that kind of world where we're susceptible to the fallacy and the immorality that exists. So I guess the biggest reason I want to make this announcement is because this has become a major problem. It's major enough that I'm part of 2 MLSs. One that services the Rock Hill, Charlotte area, and then one that services the Columbia and Upper State. So one of the MLS companies that I'm a part of, and I think it will become a general thing over all of them, there's a part where we have to check have we done our due diligence to our clients as far as making sure that a listing is in fact available to sell or available to purchase. So that's going to be extra work that we do. And one other thing I was going to say about the other, there's many people that we start to try to help, and then we do all the basic work that we do for even for everyone, and then we work several weeks or a month, and for some reason or another it falls through, and we still put that time in, but until we get to the closing table on anybody that we're helping, we don't get paid anything. Nothing. It is pro bono until we secure a contract for either a buying or a selling client. And I truly enjoy what I do, but when I have instances like the one that happened a few weeks ago, it's hard to know that there are people out there who will do this to innocent people. So that one of the MLSs that I'm a part of, they we have to do the checkpoint, which means we're still doing the same amount of research on every property and doing our due diligence, but we're going to put an extra mark on there to say, yes, this has been done. It's just sad. So you guys be careful. If you're going to sell your home yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. But do your homework, do your research. If at any time you have a question that you're not sure about, and you have a friend or a real estate agent who has a license, a current valid license, then you can call out and say, look, I'm getting ready to sell my house for sale by owner. But there's this one question I have. Do you mind helping me with that? Well, certainly we will. And we do that many times over. It's just, once it becomes to the point that they're asking a lot of questions, they become, we do have to sign an agreement and say, look, you're asking me questions that I'm required by my license to have you sign an agreement with me. And, if you back out of that agreement, you decide later you don't want to do it. But at this point, to give you this, certain advice, then we have to get an agreement. And that's to make sure, all the legal bounds are covered. But, or reach out to an attorney friend, somebody that can answer your questions. You can Google. And you can certainly Google if you have people come to say they're interested in buying your house, but they need you to send the money to start the paperwork or whatever to obtain an attorney. Don't do it. Just say, I have my own attorney representing me on this end, and send over your offer, and we'll start the process with our attorney. Or we're thinking about getting a real estate agent. I promise you, if you mention attorney or real estate agent, that you'll know who's truly trying to spam you, or if it's a real individual wanting to purchase your for sale by owner home. But don't ever sign any papers ever with someone online without having your attorney look over the paperwork that you were sent. Or, just don't do it. You need to have some type of legal representation when you sell a property or you purchase a property. That's all I got to say on this. And I just, hope and pray that this little talk may be helpful to someone. Just remember, if you feel in your gut that something just isn't right, then follow that instinct, because you can definitely discern. If we've all gotten, just a basic education, and you have something, just an inability to be settled about the situation, there's a reason for that, and it's time to do more research. So I hope this helps everyone to have the information that we have been given, that we have experienced, and I hope you take it. I hope it helps you to be able to make sound decisions with any purchase you do, because more and more we're going to be doing things online. It's so much easier. It makes life easy, but let me tell you, when it goes wrong, it can be very costly. So I wouldn't do it. You guys have a great day, and may God bless you all.